Hey there, my name is Julie Fei-Fan Balzer, and today I'm going to show you the difference between the three types of scans. In order to show you the different types of scans when you scan to cut data, I've drawn two leaves onto this piece of paper. The first one I drew just with a ballpoint pen, a really thin pen, and the second one I drew with a fat magic marker so that you can see all the differences. So I'm going to take my drawing and I'm going to place it into my scanning mat, which is a non-adhesive mat that makes for really nice clean scans. I'm going to open the dust cover right on my machine. I'm going to go ahead with two hands right up front. I'm going to place it in there. I'm going to press the load button, and now I'm ready to scan right at the home screen. I'm going to choose scan to cut data, and this is a black and white image, so I'm going to stay in my black and white scanning mode, and I'm going to go ahead and press the start button. So you can see here are the three different types of scans. So now there's no right or wrong, it's just what's right for the project and the design that you have. So if I click on the first option, what you'll notice is a dark black line goes around both these pieces, okay? And if I can't quite see it, there's actually a zoom hidden here. If I just click on the grayscale slider, I can zoom in 200%, I can actually zoom in 400%. And now using the arrow keys, I can check out my scan, and it's a little bit easier to see that dark line versus the grayed out part. Now this first option, as you can see here, is a silhouette. So it's not getting anything on the inside, it's only getting what's on the outside. So if I just go ahead and go back, you can see it here. This icon looks like a silhouette, so of course the result you get is a silhouette. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag this in nice and tight to those two leaves so that I get them there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save that into the machine. Or you can save it to ScanNCut Canvas Wireless, or you can save it to a USB thumb drive, or you can save it via USB cable to your PC. So many ways. But I'm going to save it right into my machine, like that. And then I'm going to go back because now I want to look at the second icon. Now you can see this looks different than the first icon, and what that is you can see you're getting a scan on both sides of the line, just like that. And again, if you look here, what you see that's actually black versus grayed out. And if we zoom in one more time, what you should be able to see, and let's really zoom in 400%, you'll be able to see now that dark black line is on both sides of the line. And with this really, really skinny file, it's even still on both sides of that really skinny line. So once I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save that into my machine, and it's going to save it as another separate file. And now let's look at the last scan. So this last icon, you can see that it has completely overlapping lines. And what this does, and it's a little bit hard to see when you zoom in, but we're going to go ahead and look at the files after we've saved them. It actually creates a separate cut file for every single place that the lines overlap. And if that doesn't make sense, don't worry. It'll make sense when I show you on the next screen. But I'm going to go ahead once more and I'm going to save that too. So now I've saved this file three different ways into my machine, and we're going to take a look at how those look. Okay, so I'm going to press the home button to go back to the home screen. I'm going to choose pattern, saved data. We know we saved all three of those files into the machine, so here's the first one, which is the silhouettes. And if we look at that, what you'll see, let me just zoom in here so you can see a little bit better, okay, is that these are just completely outlines. And obviously where the line was thin, you get a thin tail, and where the line was fat, you get a fat tail. Pretty obvious that these are going to cut out very, very cleanly as silhouettes. Okay, so let's go back home, and let's now look at the second one. So save data into the machine. Here's the next file. Now this is the one where we wanted it to be an outline on both sides of the line. And again, if we zoom in, what you can see is there's an outline on both sides of the line. Now notice how the red box is only around part of this file. And if I click here, it'll go around the other part of the file. This is actually two separate cut files. The inside line is a separate cut file from the outside line. And people are often confused about what to do with files like this. So I want to show you that. It's super easy. What you want to do is you want to go into the selection tool. And you want to go ahead and use the selection choice. And we're going to go ahead and grab that bottom leaf. And now you'll notice what will happen on the next screen is that there'll be two boxes selected. It's selecting all the parts of that leaf, the two separate cut files, the inside and the outside. I'm going to go ahead and say OK, and I'm going to group those, and now it's going to turn into one box, and now this is a single file. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to get this other file up here, so I'm going to just click off so that nothing is selected, or choose a part of that one, and I'm going to go ahead into the selection tool. I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to select it. I'm going to say OK. You can see that all the parts of that leaf are now selected, so I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to group it, and now it's going to group that as one single file. So now I have inline and outline scans, which is great, and if I want, I can actually save these, and I can even overwrite my original file, so now they're brand new files, which I think is cool. So there we go. Now the next option, if we go home, is we're going to go ahead and look at that last file. Saved data, here it is, it's the last one, number 12. Here it is, and I think when we pull it apart, you'll see how it's made up of tons of tiny little files? That's because everywhere that the lines overlapped, it's created a new cut file. So for instance, with this leaf right here, and let me zoom in so you can really see it, you're going to get the leaf, and then you're going to get the line in two parts. And that may be useful to you because you may want to pull apart a design that has overlaps. But something like this design that has the markers, it's going to be a little bit tougher. You're going to get that outline, and then the inside part of it is going to be in all these multiple, many little tiny parts. So you can actually get a whole bunch of different parts depending on how you do it. And again, this may be a design that you want to pick apart, so that may be useful to you. So you can see the three different types of scans that we get. So I'm going to go ahead now and I am going to cut out a silhouette and an inside outside and one of these so you can see the differences in paper. So I have my cuts, and I'm going to go ahead and bend the mat to pull them off. So here is the first one, and you can see that skinny little tail. That's the silhouette of the little ballpoint pen design, okay? So I'm going to put that there. And then the next one is this is the inside and the outside of the marker drawing, perfect for that kind of drawing. So I'm going to put it right there. And then the last one that you have right here on the mat, this is just a portion. Remember, where it cuts away at the places that it overlaps, I got rid of the line that was down the center, and now I just have that single little leaf shape. So there's your three different ways to scan, and it really, there's no right or wrong. It just depends on what your design is and what the result is that you want. Thanks so much for watching. For more tips, tricks, and tutorials, be sure to visit my blog at balzerdesigns.typepad.com and, of course, the ScanNCut website at ScanNCut.com.